I am truly grateful that together with all of you, we have just spiritedly and smoothly performed our autumn grand service. I sincerely thank you, all of you, for constantly working toward realization the joyous life role and serving our mission headquarters. Having just completed our autumn grand service, which is deeply tied to the day of origin of the founding of the teachings, let us reflect upon the intention of God the Parent on that day. Also, with the 140th anniversary of Oyasama only 3 months away, I hope that many people will be able to return to Jiba. To achieve this, I would like to share some of my thoughts on Ojiba Gairi, returning to Jiba, and take this opportunity to reaffirm its importance. I ask for your kind attention. The monthly service held every year in October is called the Autumn Grand Service. This is because Tenrikyo began on October 26, 1838. In other words, on October 26 is the day of origin day of this faith. The Autumn Grand Service is conducted for the purpose of always remembering that day of origin. Why is it important that we always remember this day of origin? As I mentioned before, Tenrikyo's day of origin was October 26, 1838. A few days before that day, God the Parent revealed God's intention for the first time through the mouth of Oyasama, saying, quote, "At this time, I have descended here to save all humankind. I wish to receive Miki as the shrine of God," unquote. With this, a dialogue between God the Parent and humankind began. Then, around 8 o'clock on the morning of October 26, 1838, Oyasama's husband, Zenbei Nakayama, gave his reply to God, "I offered Miki to you." This is the moment when Miki Nakayama became the shrine of Tsukihi, and the path of Tenrikyo began. In this sequence of events, the first words spoken by God the Parent through Oyasama revealed the very purpose of Tenrikyo. If we, as followers, were to forever forget or lose sight of that, we would lose the true meaning of our faith itself. The purpose of our faith in Tenrikyo is to transform this world into the joyous life. In practical terms, this means to realize world peace. First of all, let each of us reaffirm to ourselves the true significance of the Autumn Grand Service and the day of origin of the teaching. Now, at the very center of the main sanctuary at the Tenrikyo Church headquarters lies Jiba. As you may know, this is the very spot where humankind was first conceived. When we make a journey to this sacred spot, we call it Ojiba Gairi, returning to Jiba. In our faith, returning to Jiba has very special significance. Why is that? It is because any and everything begins and began at Jiba. For example, the Kagura service, which will transform this world into the joyous life, can only be conducted around Jiva. Likewise, the truth of Sasuke, the grant of childbirth, and the proof amulet can only be received at the Jiva. In other words, Jiva is the origin of our faith, the place where we receive the divine blessings. Without Jiva, the salvation of the world cannot begin, and the joyous life world also would become impossible. I believe that without Jiva, our faith itself would become uncertain. In the divine direction, it is written, quote, "Now I shall settle the truth at the Jiva, because the one truth exists at the Jiva. Peace will reign in the world. Jiva exists, therefore peace will reign in the world." Unquote. In another divine direction, it says, quote, "Without exception, I bring salvation from Jiva. In all matters, what is important is what the source is. Regarding primary salvation, it is from Jiva that I bring salvation." Unquote. As we can understand from these divine directions, it is because of Jiva that the world is settled. From Jiva, the salvation of the world begins, and at the Jiva, we can be saved. Now then, I would like for us to reflect on why we return to Jiva. To do so, let us reaffirm the true significance of Jiva. Jiva is a sacred place that holds various profound meaning. First, it is where God the Parent resides. Second, it is where human beings were first conceived. Third, it is where the Kandoda stand is set into place. Fourth, it is a focus for our faith in Tenrikyo. And finally, it is the very source of universal salvation. Jiva is where God the Parent resides means that the God is present there. In the Udesaki, it is written, quote, "This universe is a body of God. Ponder this in all matters step by step." Unquote. The entire universe is the very body of God the Parent. Therefore, no matter where we turn or where we may be, we can say that we are always facing towards God. However, where we can directly connect with God the Parent, the answer is only at the Jiva, the sacred place where God the Parent resides. Please allow me to share a personal insight. This world, being the body of God, is like the womb of our mother. We humans on earth are nurtured and dwell within the bosom of God the Parent, just as an unborn child dwells within its mother's womb. A mother and a child are directly connected at the child's navel. Through umbilical cord and the navel of this world is precisely what we call Jiva. It is a point that directly connects us with God the Parent. When the thought of it in this way, we can understand just how precious Jiva truly is, the one and the only place where we can directly link ourselves with God the Parent. Jiva is where the first human beings were conceived refers to our creation story, the truth of origin. Those who know this teaching was understand that the human beings were first conceived within the womb of Izanami no Mikoto at the precise spot that we now know of as Jiba. This is what makes the place of Jiba so sacred. Therefore, tracing our origins back to that beginning, we realize that the Jiba is truly our homeland, our place of origin. We humans all began from the womb of our original mother, Izanami no Mikoto, and therefore we are all brothers and sisters. Jiba is where the Kanroda is set into place. For those who have returned to Jiba, surely know this simple means where the Kanroda stands at the Jiba itself. In the Ofutsuki it is written, quote, that I placed the Kanroda in this residence is a proof that I began human beings. As a proof of my beginning of human beings, I shall put the Kanroda into place, unquote. The Kanroda being set up into place at the Jiba represents the proof that this is the very spot where the first human beings were conceived. In the divine direction, it is revealed, quote, Sir, I shall inform you the truth. The Kanroda is the one thing which exists at no other place. We must not move it to any other ground, unquote. As such, the Kanroda cannot be moved to anywhere. In other words, the Kanroda can be established only at Jiba, nowhere else. In the Ofutsuki it is written, quote, marvelous is the Kanroda of this world's beginning. It will be the cause of peace in Nihon. Prepare your minds for the place of Jiba, the place where the Kanroda is to be set up. If only this is surely settled, this will be no danger in anything at all, unquote. These Ofutsuki verses were written before the Kanroda was actually set into place. Yet these verses declare that the location for the Kanroda had already been determined, and that once the Kanroda is to set into place, the world would settle in peace, and that no matter what may happen, there will be no danger. In other words, when the Kanroda is established at the Jiba, we may live with peace of mind. Earlier, I talked about the relation between a mother and her unborn child. Please recall that image in your mind once more time. Through the child's navel and the umbilical cord connected to the placenta, the unborn child is directly linked to the mother. The child receives nourishment and oxygen from mother, and in turn, the child gives back carbon dioxide and waste products to her, all while developing within the womb. If we compare these relations to that between God the Parent's body and the human world, we can see, as I mentioned earlier, that the Jiba corresponds to the navel, while the Kanroda serves as the umbilical cord. Therefore, we receive spiritual nourishment and life-giving energy from Jiba through the Kanroda, while leaving behind at the Jiba our mind's impurities and unnecessary burdens. In this sense, we can say that Jiba is the true source of universal salvation. Further, in the divine direction, we are taught, quote, what is called the origin, Jiva is not found anywhere else in the world, the more thought you give to this truth, the deeper the truth will become, unquote. There is only one Jiva in the entire world, and its truth is very weighty. In other words, Jiva is the one and only place where we can directly receive the workings of God the Parent. Therefore, the Jiva is truly the very source of salvation for all humankind. Up to this point, I have spoken about the meaning and the significance of Jiva. When we reflect upon this, we can come to realize just how precious Jiva is to our faith. Further, Jiva is not just for us followers of Tenrikyo. It is the whole of all humanity. Please understand that the Jiva is also a precious place for every human being on this planet. As I mentioned earlier, we call making a pilgrimage to Jiva, or Jiva Gaeri, returning to Jiva, where God the Parent first conceived humankind. It's a return to the home of all humanity. In other words, every one of us, every human being, has a spiritual homeland, Jiva. Because this homeland exists, we can lead our lives with a sense of security. When we have a place, a home, to which we can always return, we can find peace of mind. In psychology, such a place is called the secure base. For example, when a child goes out on a small adventure, away from her parent, and goes to somewhere like a friend's house alone for the first time, she can do so because she has a secure base, her parents and her home, a place where she can return to feel secure. It is precisely because we have this secure base that we are able to take on new adventures in life. Today, there are many travel-related videos on YouTube. I believe those travel video creators are also able to journey across the globe because they have a secure place to return to. For example, an American travel YouTuber can go around the globe freely because they have a secure base, which is their home country of America, their parent or family for them to return to. In the same way, Jiva is a secure base for all human beings. It is the home of humanity, a place that exists not only for us followers of Tenrikyo, but for all people throughout the world. The existence of Jiva holds for all of us a truly deep and universal meaning. In the basic lectures, it says, quote, "Returning to this original home, filled with yearning for our parent, is just like going home to where our parents live, yearning for them. God the Parent's heart also longs for each and every child to return to Jiva, the home of the parent. The sincerity with which we return home out of our yearning for our parent will reach the mind of the parent, whose love for all of us is constant and impartial, and who always await our return eagerly. Thereupon, miraculous salvation will be shown, and we shall receive God's free and unlimited blessings. It is therefore of great importance for us to dedicate the mind of true sincerity to Jiva of origin." Unquote. Here, we can see the true importance of returning to Jiva. We are taught that when we human beings yearn for God the Parent and return to Jiva with sincere heart, and this heart intersects with the parent heart of God the Parent, who awaits our return. These two hearts will work together in harmony. In the moment at the Jiva, we will be blessed with truly wondrous salvation. Therefore, the Ojiba Gairi is not only about returning to Jiva out of our longing or devotion. It is about bringing our sincere heart back with us to Jiva. By doing so, we are granted free and unlimited blessings. This is the preciousness of returning to Jiva. Today, looking towards the next year's 140th anniversary of Oyasama, I have talked about the importance of returning to Jiva. From the perspective of Jiva being our secure base, let us invite as many people as possible to make this journey back with us to Jiva. However, returning to Jiva is not just for encouraging others to merely visit Jiva. It is also precious opportunity for them to know that the home of the humanity truly exists, that Jiva is a secure base to which they can always return. Furthermore, another important aspect of returning to Jiva is to guide people to leave behind their worries and burdens at the Jiva, which is the source of universal salvation. We must guide them to receive the true spiritual energy of God the Parent's free and unlimited blessing there. Therefore, let us encourage as many people as possible to do an Ojiba Gairi, especially toward the upcoming 140th anniversary of Oyasama. Please convey to them the preciousness of Jiva and invite them to return. It would bring me great joy to see many people make this journey back home together with us. With these thoughts in mind, I would like to conclude my message for today. I thank you for your kind attention.